Greetings and salutations. Today we will be covering the disappearance of Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon. Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon were a pair of Dutch students who disappeared on April 1st, 2014, while hiking in the El Pacinta Trail in Panama. Kremers and Froon were students from the Netherlands. The pair had spent months planning their trip to Panama, in which they intended it to serve as part vacation along with partly functioning as a service trip. They planned on splitting their time between hiking and touring while volunteering with local children, teaching such things as arts and crafts while learning Spanish. The women had been hiking around the Panamanian jungle for the past 2 weeks. This was part of their backpacking mission trip. They had intended to stay for the next 4 weeks with their host family while they volunteered at a local school. The 21 and 22-year-old went hiking through the forest around the Baru Volcano in Boquete at 11 a.m. on April 1st. This would be the last point in time that they would be known to be alive. This information is known from a Facebook post in which they wrote about their intentions to tour the local village after hiking the El Pacinta Trail. Both were never to be seen again. It may also be of note that they had brunch with another pair of Dutchmen. It was on the night of April 1st when their host family noticed something was strange. Their dog, which the girls had been watching, had returned without them. The host family began searching the area around their home with the hope that the girls were around and the dog had just gotten away. However, they decided to wait until morning to alert the local authorities. It was the morning of April 2nd when both girls missed an appointment with a local guide when alarms began to be raised, prompting the host family to alert the authorities. Shortly thereafter, an aerial search was conducted by the authorities along with a foot search by locals, focusing primarily on the wooded areas around the village. On April 6th, their parents arrived to Panama, fearing the worst for the missing women. They had come to Panama to aid in the search. Along with them, they brought police, dog units, and detectives from the Netherlands, with the intent to conduct a full-scale search. They would also go on to offer $30,000 as a reward for any information leading to any signs of Kremers or Froon. The search was originally intended to only last 10 days. However, days became weeks, and before they knew it, 10 weeks had passed, and still there had yet to be any signs from Kremers or Froon. On June 14th, when the search for the women had begun to slow, it was then that a local woman claiming to have found a blue backpack, which she reported having found near a riverbank near Alto Romero in the Bocas del Toro province, that the investigation began to pick up again. Within the backpack there were 2 pairs of sunglasses, $83 in cash, Froon's passport, a water bottle, 2 bras, and Froon's camera along with both the woman's cell phones. The backpack was also in remarkably good condition. Armed with new evidence, the authorities began investigating the woman's cameras and cell phones. The phones showed that around 6 hours after they began their hike, someone dialed 112. This is the emergency phone number for the use for people from the Netherlands internationally, along with 911, the Panamanian emergency number. The first 2 emergency calls had been just hours after Kremers and Froon had begun their hike at 4:39 p.m., shortly followed by another attempt from Froon's phone at 4:51. However, unfortunately, neither of the phone calls was received due to poor reception in the area. However, diligent work from individuals has allowed a timeline of their calls to be figured out, allowing for a better understanding of the woman's situation. On April 2nd, at 6:58, the Galaxy S3 was powered on and 112 was dialed, followed by a failure for the call to connect, leading to the phone to be turned off. Then, at 8:12, the iPhone 4 was powered on. 112 was dialed. Once again, the phone failed to connect. At 10:52, the Galaxy S3 was once more powered on. At 10:53, quickly followed by attempts to call 112 and 911. Once more, the calls failed to get through. Then, the phone was turned off. At 1:50, the Galaxy S3 was powered on and powered off. No phone calls had been made. There was no cell phone connection at the time. At 4:19, the Galaxy S3 was powered on and left on. The phone was left on and powered during the night. April 3rd. From 2:21 to 2:47, the Galaxy S3 had been continuously on since April the 2nd. It does not appear that the phone had been actively used, just left on. At 7:36, the battery had been left on and depleted to 1%, and the phone was most likely turned off at this time, or shortly after. At 9:32, the iPhone 4 was powered on. 911 was dialed twice from the phone at 9:33 and then powered off. They once more failed to connect to anyone. At 3:59, the iPhone 4 was powered on and a contact was searched. However, there were no calls to be made. April 4th. At 4:50, the Galaxy S3 was turned on and turned off. At 5, the Galaxy S3 was turned on and off. The battery was at this point at 0%. This was the last time the Galaxy S3 would be turned on. 10:16. The iPhone 4 was powered on and the iPhone 4 was shortly thereafter powered off. April 5th, 10:50. The iPhone 4 was powered on, then powered off. This was the last time the PIN would be entered correctly. Every previous time the PIN was entered, it was entered correctly. 1:37. The iPhone 4 was powered on and then powered off. It must be noted that at this time the PIN was not entered correctly, nor would it ever be entered correctly again. April 6, 10:26. The iPhone 4 was powered on, then powered off. Once more the PIN was not entered correctly. 2:35. The iPhone 4 was powered on, then powered off. The PIN did not show that it was entered correctly. April 8th was when the notorious nighttime photos were taken. April 11th, 10:51. The iPhone 4 was powered on and left on for 64 minutes. The phone was then powered off. The log shows that the PIN was not unlocked. This would be the final time that either phone would be turned on. The information gathered from Froon's camera contains photos from April 1st, showing that they made the decision to go down a trail that overlooked the Continental Divide, trekking through a wooded area just a few scant hours before their first attempt at making emergency calls. However, little to no evidence shows that there was the slightest hint of anything out of the norm. It was on April 8th that the infamous night photos had been taken between the hours of 1 and 4 a.m., depicting their location being somewhere deep in the jungle. The pictures detailed a nearly all-consuming darkness. Some of the photos gave clues to potential locations that the girls had traveled through. Some showed things like twigs and what appeared to be plastic bags on top of a rock. Another photo shows a backpack strap and a mirror on top of another rock. One of the remaining photos shows the back of Kremers' head, which some observers believe shows the evidence of blood in the hair. Once the backpack was discovered, new search areas along the Colubre River became a focal point of the investigation. The new search area led to the discovery of Kremers' denim shorts. Said shorts would be found on the other side of the river. This site was just a few scant kilometers from where Froon's backpack was supposedly found. There were some unsubstantiated claims that the shorts were found zipped and neatly folded. However, pictures of the shorts, which would be published in 2021, contested and outright disproved this claim. Months later, in the area surrounding where the backpack was found, a pelvic bone along with a boot housing a notably decayed foot were found. This was a breakthrough in the investigation, leading up to a series of other bones being found near the site. Sadly, the exact fate and circumstances of both Froon and Kremer are unknown to us. However, a myriad of theories are abound surrounding the case. Said theories include, but are not limited to, the pair falling off a cliff, potential foul play from local criminals, to potentially the pair drowning near a waterfall. If you remained with me until the end, I thank you, and I do hope you stay tuned for more content.